Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Learning Physics with Bhavya ma'am. PU board has released 3 model paper for all the subjects. I have uploaded all 3 model papers in my channel. Today we are going to discuss MCQ and filling the blanks of all these 3 model papers. So as you can see, the first question is very simple, that is SI unit of electric charge is. SI unit of charge is coulomb. The second question is angle between equipotential surface and electric field is. We know that electric field is always perpendicular to equipotential surface. So therefore angle between them is 90 degree. The third question is the resistivity of metal increases with increase in temperature. Yes, resistivity of the metal is always increases with increase in temperature. So if you increase the temperature, resistivity also increases. They are directly proportional. Increasing the temperature of metal causes more frequent collisions of electrons. Second statement. So we know that when you increase the temperature, electrons energy also increases, thermal energy increases, and hence the collision between two electron increases. So if the frequency of collision increases, then when you increase the temperature, frequency of collision also increases. Therefore, second statement is correct explanation of first statement. So answer is A. Both first and second are true, and second is a correct explanation of 1. The fourth question is, a moving coil galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter by connecting. So in order to convert galvanometer into voltmeter, high resistance should be connected in series. That is option D. When bar magnet is suspended freely, it points in the direction of. It always free to move, or it is suspended along the direction of north, south. The energy stored in an inductor of inductance L in establishing the current I in it is half Li square. It is comparable with half mv square. Half mv square is the kinetic energy of a body of mass m moving with velocity v. So here energy stored on inductor is half Li square. Okay, the next question is, the direction of current induced in the loop ABC shown in the figure is. Here we can see one straight conductor. According to right hand thumb rule, if thumb represents the direction of current, then remaining fingers encircle the wire shows the direction of magnetic field. So therefore magnetic field lies in this circle, right? So what is the direction of magnetic field? So if you apply a right hand thumb rule, since the current is flowing up, the magnetic field is acting in this direction. What is that direction? It is anti-clockwise direction. Okay, now we know that when there is a current in the wire, both side of the current carrying wire, there is a magnetic field. So here the magnetic field is acting away from us, this side magnetic field is towards us. So since here there is a loop which is right side, and what happens in this loop, magnetic field lines passing through that loop changes. As current increases, magnetic flux passing through this loop increases, and hence current as well as EMF is induced in this loop. And induced current always opposes the cause that produced it according to Lenz's law. So that's why it is, what is the direction of current induced? It is ACB. So it is same as the direction of magnetic field, which is ACB, option C. So along ACB in anti-clockwise direction, ACB which is anti-clockwise direction, if I is increasing, or it is along ABC if I is decreasing. Same phenomenon happens when current is decreasing, then magnetic flux linked with this loop decreases, and that induces current in the loop. So that also always opposes the cause that produced it. So that's why option B is also correct. So both B and C is correct. An ideal step up transformer decreases. See, step up transformer means voltage increases and hence current decreases. Right? Step up transformer, voltage increases. See, power and frequency is not there. Okay, so there is no relation between this power and frequency. So we have to check current and voltage. Step up transformer means voltage increases. So which one decreases? Current. The displacement current is due to changing electric field inside the capacitor. During charging, electric field between the plates increases or changes, so that produces displacement current. An object of finite height is placed in front of concave mirror within its focus. It forms virtual enlarged image. Option C. Option C. Next, a beam of unpolarized light. Yes, this chapter is not there for midterm exam, but I'll discuss all these questions. Beam of unpolarized light of intensity I naught is passed through pair of polarites with their pass axis inclined at an angle of theta. The intensity of emergent light, it is option EA. I naught cos square theta. The emission of electrons from metal surface by heating it is called thermoionic emission. When alpha particles are passed through a thin gold foil, most of them go undeviated because most of the region in an atom is empty. Option A. Nuclei with atomic number, same atomic number, are called as isotopes. So here conductors, insulator and semiconductors energy gap is given, energy band gap is given. So this is option D. So next paper, MCQ questions are like this. The total electric flux through closed surface in air is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by that surface. This is a statement of, this is a famous statement we have studied in first lesson. So which is Gauss law in electrostatics, because see, if you look at the option Coulomb's law in electrostatics, we know that Coulomb's law is a force, it tells about the force, but here it is given total electric flux. So total electric flux, so that's why Coulomb's law is not possible. And Gauss law in magnetism and Ampere circuital law, both we have studied in moving charges chapter. So that's why either option A or option C, which comes in electric statics. So option A is not possible because option Coulomb's law tells about force, electrostatic force. That's why it is option C. The electric potential due to negative point charge at a distance r is, see, it is negative and it varies as 1 by r. We know that V is equal to, electric potential is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r, right? So if it is negative means the potential is also negative, right? If the charge is negative, then potential is also negative. Identify the wrong statement from the following. So we need to identify the which statement is wrong. The first statement, the drift speed acquired by free electrons per unit electric field is called mobility. Yes, that is correct statement. Drift velocity is nothing but acquired by free electrons per unit electric field is called as mobility. Yes, mobility can be written as Vd by E. So therefore it is correct. The second one is conductivity of semiconductor decreases with increase in temperature. Conductivity of semiconductor decreases with increase in temperature. So as temperature increases, conductivity also increases. Resistivity decreases, conductivity increases. Conductivity of semiconductor decreases. So this is a wrong statement. So we need to identify the wrong statement. So therefore it is option B. B is wrong. Next, so here magnetic field, magnetic permeability and magnetic moments dimensional formulas are given. So if you check any one, it's enough. See, magnetic moment M is equal to I into A. How to write M? M can be written as I into A. So then what is the magnetic dimensional formula of I? We can write I is equal to current is rate of change, rate of flow of charge. That is Q by T, right? So sorry, I can be written as A only, and area is L square. So therefore L square A. So that is for magnetic moment, third question, option B. For third option B, you check whether third option B is there. Yes, it is in D. In D, for third question B. Third question is B. So suppose if it repeats, third is B, if it repeats in other options, then you have to check for other. Okay, you check for magnetic field or magnetic permeability. In this, here you are observing that magnetic moment is L square A, which is only in fourth option. So need not check for other questions. So it is option D. Is this clear? Okay, the next question is ferromagnetic material among the following is. Which is a ferromagnetic material? See here, copper is diamagnetic material. Lead is also diamagnetic and calcium is paramagnetic. So the answer is nickel. Nickel is a Nickel is a ferromagnetic material. The next one, the following are the statements related to self-inductance. So students, you can expect this type of problem always. So both two statements will be given and you have to check whether both the statements are correct or both the statements are wrong, or whether the second one is correct explanation of first or not. Like this type of problem is you can expect always. The self-inductance of coil depends on its geometry and on the permeability of the medium inside it. Yes, we know this, right? We have discussed this. L is equal to mu naught n square L into A something. That expression we have discussed. Then self-inductance is a measure of electric inertia and opposes the change in current in the coil. Yes, self-inductance is called as electrical inertia. So therefore, both the statements are correct. Here option C. In a transformer, NP and NS are the number of turns present in its primary and secondary coils respectively. Then the transformer is said to be step-up transformer. Step-up transformer means in secondary coil number of turns should be more. So that means NS is greater than NP. So option A. The expression for displacement current is change in electric field. Change in electric field produces displacement current, or change in electric field is nothing but change in electric flux. So that's why electric flux terms comes into picture, and hence here we have to use electric permeability, electric permittivity, that is epsilon naught. So it is option D. ID is epsilon naught d phi E by dt. Identify the statement which is true for compound microscope from the following. So in compound microscope, the first option, its objective is convex lens of greater aperture. No, in compound microscope, we are using objective of smaller aperture. So the first one is not true. Eyepiece is a convex lens of smaller aperture. No, eyepiece is having larger aperture. So first two options are wrong. Then the third one, image formed by its objective is real and inverted. Yes, correct. It produces real as well as inverted image. Its fourth option, its eyepiece produces the final image which is virtual and diminished. Yes, it produces final image which is virtual but enlarged. So therefore, option C is correct. The diffraction effects exhibited by all types of waves. The photoelectric effect experiment, if only the frequency of incident radiation is increased, then both stopping potential increase. Option B, the stopping potential increases. So next one, the impact parameter is minimum in angle in alpha scattering experiment for the scattering angle of 180 degree. So if you need, I'll explain it later. Please comment below if you need the explanation. The 13th question, so it is option D. And 14th, the radioactive decay in which very high energy photons are emitted are called as gamma decay. 15th, when forward bias is applied to a p-n junction, it lowers the potential barrier. Okay, we'll move to the next. Here there is a fill in the blanks questions. So here you can see there are 5 filling the blanks questions, but 6 options are there. So there are always 6 options and only 5 questions. So students, apply common sense. Answers are always be there. So one question is having a confusing answer. So you can see confusing answer only for one questions. So if you write it right for all other, you'll get minimum of 4 marks for this. Don't miss this. The magnetic susceptibility is negative for dash materials. So for which material? Just look at the material. So one is paramagnetic, another one is diamagnetic. So both are given here. So you'll get confused whether it is dia or para. Right? So this one question you may not get good complete mark because of confusing. So if you know, you write. Otherwise you write any one of the answer. Okay? If you don't know, you just write any one of the answer. So here the magnetic susceptibility is negative for diamagnetic, okay, diamagnetic material. The device which works on the principle of electromagnetic induction is, see, if you look at the options, there is no other device other than AC generator, so therefore it is AC generator. No other devices are given. The power factor of an AC circuit containing pure resistor is, once again here also you will get confused whether it is 0 or 1. Once again there are 2, but if you look at other options, other one, the light waves are transverse in nature. Okay, the charge of photon is so photon is a neutral particle. There is no charge, it is a neutral particle, so it is 0. So if you take 0 for this question 20th, then what will be the power factor of any AC? It is 1. So like this you can apply the common sense one thing. Otherwise, what is a power factor of an AC circuit? See, pure resistor. How to write power factor? Power factor is nothing but cos of phi. And in pure resistor, it is phi is equal to phi is nothing but angle between voltage and current. So current and voltage are in phase, means power is 0. So cos of 0 degree is 1. Cos of 0 degree is how much? 1. So that's why power factor is nothing but cos phi, which is 1 in case of pure resistor circuit. Now let us move to model paper 3. The next question is, the SI unit of surface charge density is. So surface charge density sigma is Q by A. Therefore, coulomb per meter square, which is option B. The values of electric field E and electric potential V at any point on an equatorial plane of an electric dipole are such that. See, equatorial plane or equatorial line is a line passing through center of the dipole. At any point on the equatorial line of an electric dipole, electric field is not 0. Okay, electric field is not 0, whereas potential is 0. So if I look at the option A, both are 0, so it is not possible. B is E is 0, so no, E is not 0. That's why it is option C. E is not 0, but V is 0. Option C. If the potential difference across a capacitor is double, then energy stored in it is. See, energy stored can be written as U is equal to half CV square. So if I double V, so V is 2V, 2 square is 4. So therefore, new energy is 4 times U. So 4 times is quadrupled. So that is option B. Now, a wire has a non-uniform cross-sectional area as shown in the figure. A steady current flows through it. Steady current, I is steady, constant current flows through it. Which one of the following statement is correct? So what is the expression for current in terms of area? We know that I is equal to NEAVD. Therefore, I is constant, right? VD, drift speed. Look at the options. Which one of the following statement is correct? So here we have to check drift speed. Drift speed can be written as Vd is equal to I divided by NEA, or Vd is inversely proportional to area. That is because I is constant, steady current means I is same, number of electron is same for given conductor, E is charge of an electron which is constant. So Vd is inversely proportional to area. So smaller the area, more will be the Vd. So drift speed is more here and it is less here, right? So that means look at the option A, drift speed of electron constant. No, it is not constant. It varies. Drift speed of electron increases. No, second option is wrong. So drift speed of electron decreases while moving from A to B. Yes, third option is correct. And fourth is varies randomly. No, it is not varying randomly. Here it is at A it is increasing, B decreases. So it go on decreasing. So it is not varying randomly. Next, fifth question. A charged particle of charge q is moving in a uniform magnetic field. The angle between velocity and velocity of charged particle and magnetic field is theta. Then the trajectory of charged particle varies with angle theta. Match the following table by choosing appropriate trajectory traced by the charged particle for different possible values of angle theta. So we know that when charged particle is moving parallel or anti-parallel, that is theta is 0 degree or 180 degree, then trajectory is straight line. So for theta is 0, it is straight line. Theta is 0, it is straight line, right? So that is 1B. 1B is in option B as well as in C. So that means option A and option D is not possible. So we need to check in option B and C, because one is theta is 0 is straight line. Now when theta is 90 degree, when the charged particle enters perpendicular to magnetic field, then it is moving in a circular path. So that is theta is 90 is A, circle. 90 is A, that is third is A. So which is there in option B. So B is correct answer. Is this clear? Okay. The next question is, below are the two statements related to the magnetic flux and magnetic field lines. The net magnetic flux through any closed surface is 0. Statement 2 is the number of magnetic field lines leaving the surface is balanced by number of lines entering it. See, both are Gauss law in magnetism, both the statements. So net magnetic flux through any closed surface is 0 is called as Gauss law in magnetism. And the second statement is explanation for the first one. So it is option A. The polarity of induced EMF in a coil is given by Lenz's law. In a transformer, the windings of the primary and secondary coils are wound one over the other to reduce the energy loss due to flux leakage. So if in transformer, if primary and secondary coils are kept at certain distance, then there is a chances of loss of flux. That means if the when current is flowing through primary, it produces current carrying coil produces magnetic field, and hence magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil changes, right? That we know. Now what happens if these two primary and secondary coils are separated by some distance? Some number of field lines are not entering the secondary coil. It is not able to pass through the secondary coil because of the distance, and hence there is a flux leakage. So if they are placed perpendicular to each other, no field lines are passing through it. So in order to avoid this flux leakage, one coil has to be placed inside the other coil. The secondary coil is placed inside the primary coil. So therefore, to avoid flux leakage, we are keeping one over the other. The electromagnetic waves are suitable for radar system is microwaves. So you need to practice uses of all these rays. You have to practice at least 2 3 uses of waves. A ray of light is incident on glass air interface at an angle greater than the critical angle for the pair of media. Then ray undergoes total internal reflection. If the angle is greater than critical angle, and it should pass from glass to air, glass air interface, see, denser to rarer medium, then if the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle, it undergoes total internal reflection. To observe sustained interference pattern on a screen placed at a suitable distance in Young's double slit experiment, which of the following condition is are necessary? So to get sustained interference pattern, source of light should be coherent. Okay, and it has to be narrow, and it should be very close. The slits should be very close to each other. So all of them. The de Broglie wavelength of moving particle is independent of. De Broglie wavelength can be written lambda is equal to h by mv. H by lambda is equal to h divided by m into v. So it depends on mass, it depends on speed, it depends on momentum, and hence it is independent of charge. For an electron revolving around the nucleus, see, electron is bound to the nucleus. When anything is bound to the nucleus, that means it is under electrostatic force, then its potential energy and total energy must be negative. Even in gravitation lesson, we have studied that when satellites are revolving around the planet Earth, then satellites energy, potential energy as well as total energy is negative. If it is positive, means it is out of the gravitational field. When we are discussing about escape speed, we came to know that if the potential energy or total energy is positive or zero, it is out of the field. So similarly here also, when electron is revolving around the nucleus, potential energy and total energy must be negative. So it indicates that electron is bound to the nucleus. And kinetic energy is positive. So therefore it is option B. The ratio of nuclear densities of two elements, aluminium and copper. See, whatever may be the mass number and atomic number, nuclear densities remain same. So that's why it is 1:1. Nuclear densities does not depends on mass number, as well as it is independent of mass number, atomic number. So it is 1:1. The energy band gap in conductor, insulator and semiconductor are represented as E1, E2 and E3. The relation between them is, see, energy gap is very small. Sometimes covalent bond and valence bands are overlap with each other. So energy band is very small in case of conductor. So E1 is very, very small. Similarly, in insulator, it is very high. So E2 is very large. That's why E1 is very small and E2 is very large, which is observable in option D. E3 comes in between. Okay, semiconductor energy gap comes in between conductor and insulator. Next, filling the blanks questions. There are 5 questions and 6 options. 6 options are there. One of the basic properties of electric charges. If you look at the options, properties of electric charges, charge is quantized, charge is conserved, charge is additive in nature. So basic properties here, it is quantization of charge. The ratio of magnetic flux linkage to the current in a coil is, that is phi by I. Phi by I is equal to L, self-inductance, L. Self-inductance, so which is L, self-inductance. Now, principle of working of transformer is mutual induction. Microscope is used to produce large magnification of small object. The image is magnified image. So that why we are using microscope? Microscope is to produce large magnification, magnified image of the object. So magnification. The phenomenon of bending of light around the edges of obstacle is called as diffraction. Students, look at here. If you look at the options, you will get confused always. See, diffraction, interference, both are given. Right? So don't get confused. It is diffraction. Okay. fill in the blanks of model paper 1. It is a molecule possessing permanent dipole moment is called as dash molecule. So which molecule is having permanent dipole? It is polar molecule. So here there is no non-polar molecule, so only one molecule is given, that is polar molecule. A net magnetic flux through any closed surface is, it is 0, right? Net magnetic flux through any closed surface is 0, which is that is called as Gauss law in magnetism. A rotating vector used to represent alternating quantity is called as phasor. Phasor is a rotating vector. A wavefront is a surface of constant phase. In interaction with matter, light behaves as if it is made up of packet of energy called as photon. So here you can see that all the 5 options all these questions are easy. So sometimes the fill in the blanks is easy. Don't leave any fill in the blanks questions. It will be easy for you to answer. And MCQ questions are sometimes it is tough. So if you practice CET or NEET level questions, it will, and if you practice all the concepts, then you can answer it. Okay, so and 4 options will be there almost. You can see the options. By seeing the options, you can answer it. Not too tricky. All the very best, students. If you have any confusion, comment below. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.